Okay, here we are for day 5 update of the Sadie versus Casey Anthony case on 5/28/2011, and this was Saturday because they did a half a day, and they actually, I got a lot of information for just a few hours. So I'm not sure if it's going to take one video or two. So on day 5, they continued with the Anthony Lazzaro because they had called them, didn't really do any questions. So, Tony called her phone later and realized Casey left her phone. And this was, after she had left with her mother on 7/15/2008. He said a deputy came to his house and he gave the deputy Casey Anthony's cell phone. Deputy came back again and he searched his apartment. Lee Anthony came to the house and Lee seemed concerned about the situation that was going on. Tony gave Lee Casey's items, bag of clothes, duffel bag, and laptop. Tony was surprised at what just happened. On 7/16/2008, a text came from Casey. "I'm so sorry for not telling you what happened. I love you and need you more than you know. We have to talk." Tony asked, "Where's Kaylee?" Casey said, "I don't know." Tony says, "I don't know. Serious?" Casey talks about, "I don't know what I would do if something happened. I'm the worst effing person." Tony tells her that he's her boyfriend and he cares about her and her daughter. Casey says the most important thing is getting Kaylee back, but I hope you forgive me. God knows my family won't. Casey texts him, same info about Zanny. Casey said she's scared. At this point, just staring at the screen with text messages on them and with a stone cold face, no emotion. Casey said if she's not found, guess who spent eternity in jail? So, there's some guilt there because she wouldn't have never said that. Especially if somebody really did kidnap your daughter or whatever's going on. I personally, if somebody kidnapped my son, I personally would say, well, guess what? If they don't find him, guess who's going to jail eternity? I would have been like, oh my God, I just want to find him, Tony called her, and first question was, "Where's Kaylee?" Casey said, "I don't know." Tony was angry because he was lied to and he felt betrayed. Basically, a conversation, he said, was going nowhere. The defense crosses and basically just same old stuff from Baez. Nothing really too shocking or important. State calls Cindy Anthony. I've been waiting for this for days. She talks about Casey's elementary school, Hidden Oaks, that Casey and Lee would walk to school. Cindy found out on June 30th, 2005, that Casey was pregnant. Casey went up to her mother's work to tell her. Cindy thought she was filling out because she wasn't active. Casey only gained 15 pounds when she had while she was pregnant with Kaylee. Cindy was not trying to hide Casey being pregnant. As soon as she found out, she started shopping for Casey for maternity clothes. Also shopped for Kaylee's room, Winnie the Pooh theme. Then they showed her Kaylee's bed. Cindy then started crying. And at this point, when they did this, Casey just had a stone cold face while looking at the picture of Kaylee's bed. Just no emotion from her at all. She says Cindy told the prosecution that Lee lived in the house when Kaylee was born, and reiterates that they do not use the front door. They normally use the garage. They started going through photos of the Anthony's home and the layout and everything, where the pool, where the inside the house, Kaylee's playhouse, all that good stuff, and Kaylee's playhouse pictures. At this point, Casey is shaking her head no and is trying to force out tears. And as we go into recess and her mother steps down, Casey's crying and talking to a member of her defense team, points at her mother and breaks down crying, angrily talking and crying. And I believe this is to put the tension back on her. And one thing that I could tell that she said, if you look back at it, she's like, she knew, she didn't do anything, or if you look back, you could tell a few words here and there what she's saying. They come back from recess. Cindy says she took her birthday week off, as she normally does every year. 6/15/08, Cindy took Kaylee up to Mount Dora to see Cindy's parents. They came home. Cindy fixed Kaylee something to eat, then took Kaylee into the pool. A lot of evidence of Casey working was before Kaylee was born, Cindy had said. She said she was more lenient with Lee than Casey, helping around the house. Like, they didn't have to contribute money, but they had to help pick up, keep her room clean, and so forth and so on. Most of the time, Casey was dressed as she was going to work. Cindy said from 7/15/08 until about 6 weeks ago, she was still looking for a nanny named Zanny. Cindy asked Casey to talk to Kaylee of the week of 6/16/08, but there was always a reason she could not. And then they talked about Casey took the gas can. George called Cindy and told her about seeing Casey. Cindy called Casey because Casey was supposed to be in Tampa. Long excuses that Zenaida got. First she was in Tampa for meetings about Universal, this, that, and the next thing, and with this girl named Juliette Lewis and Juliette's daughter, Annabelle, and then there was and then Zanny got in a car accident. She had to come back and get some information for Zanny. Didn't think about bringing Kaylee back or leaving her there with her parents. Just wanted to get back to get the stuff. Casey told another lie about her gas gauge not reading right, so she took the gas cans with her in case of an incident, in case she ran out of gas. At this point, Casey looked very concerned about all the lies Casey told Cindy, and talking to the defense, I bet she's wondering how she will be able to deny or give excuses on this one, because these are very different from the truth. She had no reason to lie about the gas cans. Like, she's telling George one thing and telling Cindy another. Cindy ended up going to Universal and called Casey and told Casey told Cindy she was not there. Casey said she was in Jacksonville and wanted to try and rekindle more than a friendship with this Jeff Hopkins. And this is on 7/3/08. Cindy created a MySpace page to try and get Casey to read a post that she had put up to show Casey how she worried and missed Kaylee. And she said that she didn't know a whole lot about MySpace, and she didn't know everybody else could read it, that there were certain settings you had to set. And then towards the end, the Anthony's lawyer, Mark Lipman, filed for a motion for something. They didn't say what, and the judge said he would hear it at 8:30 Tuesday morning, and that's tomorrow morning. So there's a lot of speculation going on what it is. I have tried to research to find out what it is through the Orange County records, and I can't find anything, so I don't know what it is. A lot of people are saying that they're going to force Casey to get on the stand to say this is true, or they're going to make Baez not say that George molested her and had anything to do with it, because this is basically, throwing George and Lee under the bus. But again, the lawyer is only for George and Cindy. So a lot of people are saying that if Casey doesn't get up on the witness stand and testify, or don't have proof of it, then they're just going to have to stop saying it for the rest of the trial. So I wonder what's going to happen, and I will be right there 8:30 in the morning watching it, and I hope everybody else is too. And if you don't get a chance to catch it, not a big deal. I will keep you updated and let you know what's going on. Hopefully there'll be a brief recess in between that and the jury coming in, and that way I can post a quick video about it. But if not, I will definitely try to get a video up to you guys during lunch recess tomorrow. So that's the end of J5. Like I said, it was a very short day. A lot of emotion, especially Cindy. Again, Casey not looking like she really cares about the stuff she's put her mother through. And, she tries to turn it back on everybody else. But the thing is, little girl, it's all about you. It is about you. I know she wants the attention. Well, guess what? She's got it now. She's got it for the wrong reasons, for killing her daughter. And I believe wholeheartedly that she killed her daughter. I have no doubt about it. So, let's see what happens tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning at 8:30 with the motion that George and Cindy Anthony's attorney filed. On a few side notes, I would like to ask a couple questions if anybody out there would know. My first question is, I want to know how, because I've asked several people and they're like, oh, nowadays you can, but I know that's not true, you can't. How can you write a check on somebody else's account because they check IDs? I just wrote a check not too long ago to Kroger's, and I had to show them my ID. And I had to show them that I am who I am. Who says that it's allowed to write checks on that account? So I don't understand how Casey did it unless she had Amy's ID. If anybody knows, please comment. Let me know. I'll get it up on air if there's nobody else. Get it up on here if nobody else knows. There was a couple of things I wanted to touch base on. First of all, about the whole thing of her drowning in the pool and George doing X, Y, Z, taking the body, dumping it, everything else. I don't think, this is my theory on it, I don't think Casey in some sense meant to kill her daughter. I do think she meant to keep her quiet with chloroform so she can go out and do her own thing, and that was the reason for the duct tape as well, because she woke up so she would make noise, and I think she ended up dying from it. And as for the smell, I think Casey found different places to hide the body, and then finally putting in her trunk for so long, and then disposing it in the woods, and then having to get rid of her car because she couldn't get rid of the smell, and she didn't want it to be, she didn't want the smell to anybody else to notice the smell. So I don't believe George Anthony had anything to do with it. Somebody brought up a great point on Nancy Grace tonight about how that's something a female would do. The duct tape, and then the not so much duct tape, but the heart-shaped sticker over the mouth. And that's why I don't think it was, again, it's purposely done, but not purposely done, if you know what I'm saying. I don't think she had all intent to kill her child, but she did. And I think that's in my opinion, that's death penalty worthy, because even though it's involuntary manslaughter, it's still got a, it's a child under the age of 12, it's malicious, it's cruel, child abuse, child neglect, and I believe all these things should be considered, even though murder 1 is what is qualifies for the death penalty. I think all in all, if worse comes to worse, I don't think they're going to get a murder 1. I think they're going to get a lesser charge, and I think it's going to be a life in prison charge. And if they do get murder 1, then more power to the state. As a mother, I can't imagine doing anything to my child, because let me tell you something, if anybody did anything to my child, I'd want them to fry. I know they don't do electric chair anymore, but I would want them to fry. I don't care who it is. It could be a family member, it could be a stranger, they need to fry. So there you have it, YouTube. I hope you like these videos. Sorry I got a little behind this week, but you know, I'll try to keep you updated. Good night.